So here are a few health updates involving AEW talent. Kenny Omega, according to Fightful, underwent surgery for diverticulitis last week on May the 16th in New York City. No timetable on his return. Eddie Kingston spoke with PWInsider.com and gave an update, and he's just continuing to get bad news. So initially, we had heard like he had broken his leg. He has a tibial fracture, and then found out he has torn his ACL and is going to require knee surgery. From his update, he can't get the knee surgery until the leg heals. So he's looking at surgery at July at the earliest, and then it's roughly a 10-month recovery period. So we are very likely looking at a year until we see Eddie Kingston again. Terrible luck for a guy that, I mean, he's in his early 40s. It's not as though he can't come back from this, but he's also not a young guy. These are very key years for him, and obviously, it's one of the benefits of him at least having a contract where he will be paid through this period, because this is obviously like the biggest money the first time he's made real money in this industry. But it's just tough for a 42-year-old to lose a year of his career.
When you hear or see Eddie Kingston speak about his career, I mean, he seemed to have, a very positive attitude when it comes to this particular injury. But you almost get the sense he's like grateful for everything that he has, and that even everything he's experiencing now is almost like a bonus round that he never expected. So he seems to have a really good mentality for just simply being grateful for what he's already had, and not maybe as frustrated as one would expect, for somebody being out as long as he has. But really unfortunate for him, really unfortunate for the audience, because I mean, he still has a ceiling that I think he could reach that he has not yet, that I think everybody wants to see him reach. Yes, like getting the Triple Crown was like, added like really good fanfare for him, but like he's somebody who could be the face of this company because he offers something completely unique that no one else can. And I don't think AEW has tapped into that quite yet. And this sort of injury, taking him out for a year at the age of 42, 43, by the time he comes back, I mean, these are valuable, pivotal years for a man like him. I would say, like, usually in some of these situations, like there's a silver lining with a guy who could speak, who could probably do really well on commentary, that he could fill his time here. But like with this sort of injury, I don't know how much traveling he's able to do, as we could see with Adam Cole.
Yeah, it's the same thing I thought, and and the same for you would love to come up with ideas for people, but you also want them to be able to rehab, and traveling with an injury, the severe set of injuries that he has, might not be the best for him. So we were talking about this the other night, and going into the pay-per-view, and the talent that AEW doesn't have at their disposal. And you and I just rattled off some names, and it made me curious to actually go through the roster of who is not available right now. It was astounding what the list is. Okay, so these are the known injuries we have. And I didn't even include, these are the people that I classified as like significant players at some level that would be of note. And this is who AEW does not have available due to injury. Adam Cole, MJF, Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, Bandito, Eddie Kingston, Juice Robinson, Keith Lee, Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Miro, Powerhouse Hobbs, Wheeler Yuta, Chuck Taylor, Julia Hart. Then we have Sammy Guevara, who's been gone since that suspension and has not been brought back. Ricky Starks, with whatever's going on with him, he said he's fine. He's just not being utilized. And whatever's going on with Hangman Page, he's kind of been quiet for a number of months. But when I put this list together, like throw out those last three, just the injuries, I don't know if there's ever been a roster that has had that level of stars that are not available due to injury. I would imagine there's never been a company that has had that level of depth. That is like an all-star card right there of the people that are out and not available to them. Blew my mind.
It's pretty crazy. But now, when I ask you the question, does AEW currently have a depth problem? What would you say to that?
No, that we can have the argument of, have they signed too many people? And maybe you can look at like the numbers, but the alternative is that I don't tune into this program and be looking like at there being a lack of depth, or that the wrestling is suffering. It goes to show you, like, that aspect of this roster, I don't know how many places could stomach this amount of people where this is not even like some big topic or, man, they're like, you could take 3 of these people and it would handicap a company to be down. Adam Cole and MJF that headline your All In show are both out, and they're still and you've got your Danielsons and you've got Okada and you've got Mercedes. Like, we can go on and on. I mean, it's a testament to the amount of people they have to step into these spots, but it really does shine a spotlight on like what would this company look like if they will never be at 100%, but if they were at 90%, this would be, you wouldn't have time spots for all these people.
No, I think even now, more often than people saying, wow, like we're missing so much talent, you're hearing more people saying there's not enough, showcasing of a guy like, I don't know, Ricky Starks, or like name whoever, like Penta, like people that are just kind of like, on the sidelines, but not necessarily being featured in storylines. And when you're dealing with like 100% healthy roster, I don't know if you would have seen a timeless Tony Storm or like a Julia Hart, ascend the ranks the way that they have, or a Willow ascend the ranks the way that they have. In some ways, some of these are kind of blessings in disguise, where you can kind of cycle out talents and create spaces and voids for other people to rise up, is just simply due to the natural process of like athletes and injuries.
One other note, not a wrestler per se, but Jim Ross was admitted to hospital on Thursday in Norman, Oklahoma due to shortness of breath. The Observer had update that he is recovering. He was diagnosed with Class A flu and raised heart enzymes, and Ross believes he'll be fine within several days, but the Observer is reporting he will miss the pay-per-view on Sunday. So Jim Ross has been hit with a lot of health ailments over the past year, and obviously this is sounds like it's a bit of a setback. Hopefully this is not too serious, but regardless, was admitted to hospital. So hopefully he can make a full recovery here. But yeah, it's just been a really rough stretch for Jim Ross over the past number of years that he's been dealing with.